Greetings, tea timers. I hope you had a great week last week. Now, did you get your tea bags and find some way to boil water? It's water. Remember, practice how to say it properly. Anyway, so this is my Monday morning cup of tea. You're going to see this video probably midweek, but it's Monday and this is my rather large mug of tea for Monday morning. So anyway, hope you made yourself a nice cuppa before we get going. So I thought it would be fun to go over some ways of getting a pen and ink drawing together, or for you to play around with that. And if you had a chance to look at some Ernest Shepard illustrations, then you'll see some fabulous examples of that. You can find those Winnie the Pooh books. Now, this is what I use. I'm trying to get it up the right way for you. These are Sharpie ultra fine points. Like there's Sharpie fine points, then there's Sharpie ultra fine points. And you can also find more expensive sets of indelible ink pens. But these are not expensive at all. And I love to use these when I'm writing. So I carried them around in my pocketbook and I scribble and doodle, and they are not expensive. You can buy this set of 12 online very, very cheaply. So the paper that you want to use if you're going to add a watercolor wash to something is a hot press watercolor paper. But if you're not going to add a lot of water, or any at all, if you're just going to do black and white, Bristol Vellum, this is a very inexpensive brand of paper. I think this whole pad was about $6, so that's not going to break your bank. Or you can just fiddle around on scraps of paper around the house. You can use just a normal pen if you want to just learn some techniques. This is I'll be going over materials as the weeks go along that I use, but I don't want you rushing out and spending lots of money. When I am teaching a class, depending on what I'm doing, I sometimes use things like Q-tips or cotton buds. Q-tips is the American word, isn't it? So that's great for getting textures in acrylic paintings. So what I like to encourage is people to go and play and find things around the house that will give them a texture on a painting, or create some kind of image with things that you have lying around. So if you see something, you think, ooh, with paint that might make a nice pattern, then pop it in a box or something and have it as your little stash of things that might make images. So this is just a sketch pad. You can get one of those too. What I like to do is have a little baby sketch pad in my pocketbook. Excuse me. So I carry it around all the time, and then I can scratch down ideas or little doodles and drawings, and so I have that at my disposal. So the first thing that you would want to do if you want to try and do some pen and ink pictures is learn a few of the ways to make marks on the paper. And I've got two examples here. One is called hatching and the other is called cross hatching. So when you're hatching, you're just, well, I'm doing it back to trying to draw. Let me turn around a bit. So when you're hatching, you're just going to do lines that are separate, and then cross hatching, you're just going to go back across. So it's almost like making a little tic-tac-toe board and doing it over and over and over again. So when you do this, what you're doing is you're turning a two-dimensional drawing into something that looks three-dimensional. So if you cross hatch but you curve those lines, you will get a tree that starts to look more three-dimensional. See this? So on the sides of the tree, I've made it darker so that there's more cross-hatching there, so it looks shaded. And then in the middle, it's lighter. So you can have tons of fun just playing around with this. It's inexpensive and it's great for you and the kids to do something very, very simple. And you can just play about with doodles. But get a set of these pens, and if you keep watching every week, then I will be going into doing a watercolor wash on top of these, which is super, super simple as well. So you can create an image and then get some color on it. And then I'll show you how I did this on the leaves, because this wasn't complicated either. So have a fun week and try those out. Even if you just get a normal biro pen and a piece of normal scrap paper, and just try to make some marks on it. Draw 2 lines, so you've got almost like the base of a tree, and try doing those curved cross-hatching lines on the side and see how it looks almost 3-dimensional when you do it, and then try and do more and more over the top of each other so it looks like shading. So have some fun with that. This is one of my favorite techniques to use because it's fun, it's quick, and you don't need tons of material to do it. So I would love to see what everybody gets up to after watching this, and enjoy. And I will see you next week. Don't forget your cup of tea before you see me. Okay.